we'll give you all the help you need, a place to stay, provide you food, do your laundry. And this is Israeli. They don't do that.
Is that
Period.
Is that Colonel Bahat?
I won't name names at this point in time. So anyway, we went home, and I had no idea why the Ark of the Covenant had been there. I'd never even thought about it. You know, my cup was running over already with things that God had shown me. And so, you know, I was not looking for anything else. So I went home, prayed, and asked the Lord to help me understand why the Ark of the Covenant might possibly be in that place. I was impressed to read the history of the conquest of Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king at that time. And in this 2 Kings chapter 25, and the last part of that chapter, it says that Nebuchadnezzar built forts against the city round about. That in modern language is a siege wall. Now this meant that nobody could take anything out of the city or bring anything in the city. So the Ark of the Covenant had to be hidden in the city, under the city, or inside the siege wall. All right? Well, we don't know for sure where the Babylonian siege wall was located, but we know where Titus's siege wall was located. All right? Catapults had the same range back in Nebuchadnezzar's time as they did in Titus's time. And they always built these siege walls out of range of the catapults that were defending the city. So we know where it had to have been. And from that siege wall, people could not observe, you know, watchmen walking the wall, the siege wall, couldn't observe somebody bringing something out into that cliff over there. So I thought, okay, that makes it reasonable. We got ready, came back and started digging. January 1979. It had come a real wet, sloppy snow that year. I mean, it was horrible. This thing had been filled with garbage. We found 2 dead cats in there. I've got a picture, a moving picture of a cat that came up to where we were working, and it stood there and looked at us for a bit, and then it just turned and walked off like, you know, what are you idiots doing there? But anyway, in January 6, 1982, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I found the Ark of the Covenant. Right? You would not believe the amount of stone and dirt and everything we had moved. God kept our interest up by thinking that just any minute we'd find it. You know, for all of that time. Usually the carrot doesn't work for that long a period of time. I think you know about holding a carrot in front of something so to get it to move. So anyway, we found it. Now, I hadn't thought anything about the crucifixion site. Like everyone else, I thought it was up by that Muslim graveyard on top of that cliff. And in fact, I went up there looking one day for it, and a couple of Muslims kind of helped me off of out of the place. My feet touched the ground about every 10 feet. But anyway, I didn't see any evidence up there. But as we dug down the face of that cliff, we found those 3 cutouts. Now folks, there was only one crucifixion site in Jerusalem, and that is it. Not only that, the place where they crucified people was the same place where they stoned people, right? There's a very strong tradition, in fact there's a big church built up there, where they supposedly stoned Stephen. Remember the story in the Bible? And he said, I beheld heaven, he says, I beheld heaven open, and I saw the Son of Man, or Jesus, sitting at the right hand of God. And this is a special place up there. There's a book by that title for sale in there. And I suggest you get it. It's a very good book. So anyway, when I found the cutouts, we were digging along the cliff face, but the dirt out here was beginning to threaten to fall in on us and bury us. So I went to the left, dug a shaft straight down, and you know where that little bench, that curved bench is sitting out there, and that pillar? By the way, those are pagan symbols. What they're doing in there in a Christian place is amazing, but it's a symbol of sun worship, and the pillar is a phallic symbol, fertility symbol. They're not right over the Ark of the Covenant, but I'm surprised they are even that close. So as we tunneled along at the quarry floor, at the base of the wall, I found the cross hole. And I worked around and found some more cross holes 4 feet lower on the real quarry floor. I thought this was the quarry floor, but actually it was a kind of a bench-like thing where they hadn't taken the last set of blocks out as they quarried their way down. And so anyway, I prayed, Lord, where shall I go now? Now, we had found the Crucifixion Place, and I was quite excited about that, but we were looking for the Ark of the Covenant. And if I had had my way, I would have found the Ark of the Covenant, and I would not have found the crucifixion site, because I wasn't looking for it. As always, God had more in mind than I had in mind. As more than any of us humans, he says that he will give us more than we can ask or think. And I found that to be very true, and of course you will find that to be very true too, and some of you already have, those that are sharing things with other people. Because today God is taking a strong hand in finishing his work. Anyway, I was impressed to break right through the cliff. Not this cliff, but one that looked every bit as solid. Right? Well, I'm dumb, but I didn't think I was that dumb. So anyway, I kept looking around for a place to get in that cliff. I knew there were caves in there because honeybees were coming out of cracks and flying in. So they had their nests in there. So anyway, my youngest son, he says, Dad, have you prayed about this? And I said, yes. You know, I should have prayed with my sons. We look back and we see mistakes we've made. But he asked, and we did pray together at night and morning, but I should have prayed right there. Anyway, he said, did you pray about this? I said, yes. He says, well, did you get any indication of what to do? I said, yes. I'm supposed to break right through that cliff. And he says, well, let's do it. And I said, no way, that's stupid, I'm not doing it. So we worked for 3 or 4 more days, and it was time to leave the next day. And my oldest son was down with me, and we were handing the tools out to my youngest son to store them. And my older son is a rather quiet person.